Matter of fact, in 3 of the 4 commands, we're way down, and 1 is even at this point. Response times are, if not even, they're down in some of the commands. Some of the commands in the Rockaways, we were a little short. Some cops were in there, some got transferred. We just put an additional 12 out there, which should help cover those problems. But what we really wanted to look at, and what's very important, is we sent out surveys to the community and to the cops in the beginning of this pilot. Why do you feel about the police services you're receiving right now to the community? What do you think of the cops? How do you think of the way they're reacting and doing their job? After 3 months, we're going to send that same survey out, and we want to see if there's a change, if there's an appreciable difference in how the community views the cops that they're seeing every day. But just as important, we did the same survey with our cops, because part of what we did when we did our original surveys coming into the Department of Bratton was there was a dissatisfaction with the job of the police officers. They were not satisfied with the work environment. They had reduced crimes to tremendous levels, but they were not getting the job satisfaction. And part of that problem was that they did not have ownership. They did not feel responsible for it. This now gives them that power to make decisions, power to actually make a difference in the area that they work every day. So we're hoping that we gave them this survey originally, and when we get it back in 3 months, then we're going to see an appreciable difference in how they view their jobs. All right, that's the first part. That's the neighborhood one. Let me go to the second part that really affects Queens a lot. And Queens has been the pilot on a lot of this stuff, so we're really pushing out everything here first. All right, CENTCOM it's called, and we're doing it in Queens South originally. This should be going up in a couple of weeks, hopefully, if things stay on track. The idea of CENTCOM is that the borough commander has full control over all of his resources. He's in charge. Detectives report to him, narcotics reports to him, gang reports to him, housing reports to him. Everything goes to your borough commander. Instead of downtown being in charge of everything, we're in a big focus of decentralization. We want our cops to be able to make decisions. We want our bosses out here that are in the community to have the resources and to move them as they feel. So in Queens South on the Day Borough right now, we are very close to it. A lot of the moves are being made, and hopefully in 2 weeks, all these units are going to be up. Now, the big switch, and probably that will affect some of the community boards here, and hopefully the borough commanders have reached out to NYCHA and the people it affects, is that when we split housing, the 114, all the housing in the 114, the substation's going to stay there, but instead of responding to a PSA that is 4 miles away, it'll be the 114 that's going to be in charge of that housing unit. So the cops will remain there, but the 114 is going to have all the Queens North housing. Well, PSA 7 stays as PSA 7. It only handles the housing in Queens South, and they're directly under Chief Borough. So the 114 under the 114 CO under Chief Pizzuti. That's probably the biggest change that for the housing and for the community boards here. This has been done before. It was done in Brooklyn North last time that Commissioner Bratton was here. It was called SATCOM. We didn't like the name SATCOM, so we went with CENTCOM, Central Command. It just sounded better. It was done in Brooklyn North. It was very successful. Commissioner Bratton left. There wasn't the will to go forward to the rest of the city. So it kind of lingered on there for, I think it was a total of 9 years before Commissioner Kelly decided to end it. Now that Commissioner Bratton's back, we're looking to move this forward, and if successful in Queens South, make attempts to move it citywide. This is how it looks. This is more towards the place thing. My boss, Chief O'Neill, of course, the Chief of the Department, in charge of it all. The Chief of Patrol, Chief Gomez. Chief Borough, which will report to Chief Gomez. Under him, he has his Operations Chief, which is in charge of the precincts and the housing unit. His Administrative Chief, and then his investigative chief. The investigative chief has narcotics, fights, gang, detective squads, the homicide squad, and the Lakeshore Night Watch, all working directly under him. This will move investigations a lot quicker and a lot easier for him. Next one. All right, this is kind of just a quick breakdown of what it looks like. Again, I kind of explained it all here. Same thing, we're going to pilot it here, make the evaluation of it, look at crime, survey the executives to see what they thought of it, see if there's a big difference, if investigations are being solved a lot better or easier. Look at the public to determine if the model is reducing the impact of crime on the community. We're going to look to move to other patrol boroughs after this, if it's successful. So Queens, you're the testing ground for everything new that Commissioner Bratton has brought out. So far, it's been working good, and as we move forward, hopefully it continues to work good. I'm sure it's gonna. And I'm sure there's a lot of questions, so that's my presentation.
Good job.
Thank you.
First of all, we've been joined by Councilman Danny Drum, and we thank him for his work on these issues. So, Assistant Chief, first of all, thank you for your presentation. It was very good, very thorough. When is all this being put in place, number one? Number two, we have very good community affairs officers in Queens. And so what role are they going to take on now that you have officers who are going to be part in the car and part what I would call community police officers? And last but not least, this sounds like it requires a lot more staff for the borough commanders, and so I'm wondering how the police department's going to accommodate for that.
All right. First, it already started with the neighborhood coordination officers and the pilots in the 100 and 101 that started around 6 weeks ago. So that's been running and it's been very successful. So there's a lot of talk on moving forward and somewhere in the near future. When it comes to the CENTCOM model, we are looking at it very shortly within the next couple of weeks. Yes, we moved personnel into place. Queens was a little different than other boroughs since that you were covered originally. It was one detective borough that covered all of Queens, and it was one narcotics gang unit that covered all of Queens. Now each side's going to have their own. So it required us to put some additional staff into those investigative units. Those transfers are taking place. I anticipate within the next few weeks that this model will go live. And the community affairs officer. Community affairs is going to be an integral part of this because they already have the contacts in the community. And part of what we've been doing in the pilots is have community affairs go out and second guys. On their free time, when we talk about that uncommitted time, drive out and sector out and introduce people. You know, they're driving with the NCOs also to introduce. This, so we have this whole flavor of everything. Now, your community affairs are going to deal more with you, or with the community boards. We're really looking for the NCOs to get to the grassroots, to the ground level. The people that don't come to these meetings, people who don't come to community council. The silent majority that's out there that we want to be able to make sure they have that voice too. So that's kind of what the NCOs, community affairs are still going to be dealing, and they're going to be a key player for the commanding officer. But we want these NCOs to really, organize a attendance meeting and build, get everyone from one building out. That sort of thing. These smaller type meetings that a precinct CO or a community affairs officer can't make, in his geography, that NCO should be included.
So they're coordinated,
Coordinated.
Any other questions? How about we start with Betty Bratton, Board 10?
Okay, a lot of questions.
Yes.
A lot. Oh.
I'll start with, as you're defining within